Shut up and sit down.
Sorry. Welcome back to another episode of another one of these podcasts. This is my second voice note that I am doing at work because I am bored and I had certain thoughts that I wanted to let out. And still sitting in my office. It is currently 20 minutes past 1 in the afternoon on 26th of December 2021. Happy Boxing Day to all the shopaholics out there. I am your host Kashish Grover and I will be talking about overworking today. I have been employed since the age of 21. Yes, I was 21 years old, 21 years old, 21? Yeah, when I got my first job. And it's been 4 years ever since. And as a millennial and a brown one at it, I have learned a lot of things coming from India, spending 19 years there, and then moving to New Zealand in a different cultural country altogether. The differences that I've noticed in work cultures all come down to one thing. I have noticed that people spend an awfully amount of time overworking while they get paid the same wages that they do, and the owner makes the profit. The sentence, it's just a job, doesn't I think it never did. People never actually understood how important that sentence is. It also stems from how you were born and brought up in a family. Did you come from a business family or did you come from a family that were majorly in the service sector, the jobs? Makes a big difference because I grew up in a business family. My family has their own business, and being your own boss gives you a different outlook on how the job market works, because then you're in a position to employ people rather than be an employer. You become an employee, and then you realize that doing a job is, in the long run, I mean, everyone does a job when they start off, right? Just like I am right now at 25 years old, not for long though. Everyone gets a job when they start up to raise capital. But what matters, what's most important is where are you going with that in the long run? Are you going to be one of those people in their 40s that are on the stage receiving a lifetime service award for being in a company for over 25 years, a loyalty award, or are you going to be the person that is giving that particular award to an employee that works in your business for over 25 years? Don't get me wrong, spending your entire life in one company at one position or maybe a couple of promotions might sound appealing to you. To me, it sounds like one of the worst things I can ever do in my life. Because the whole concept of jobs is very fucked up to me. How are you gonna work 40 to 50 hours a week, sacrificing your personal life, when the earning will always and always be limited. If you make 60 grand a year, just gonna give an example. If you make 60 grand a year, you're only gonna make 60 grand a year no matter how hard you work, no matter how many efforts you put in, no matter, and people don't realize that sometimes. A lot of the times, I've seen a lot of people that take their jobs too seriously, that act like it's not their workplace but it's their business. And employers look for people like these, because which means that they can sit at home while they make money and just pay minimum wage or a little something above minimum wage to employers that think that it's they're the owners of the property and work like that. It's a good work ethic. You can't have it for the rest of your life, because what it does is, if you plan on working for someone for the rest of your life with that attitude, all it's going to do is give you, well, make you prone to overworking. And overworking is the worst thing you can do for your mental and physical health. There are alarming researches that show that people working more than 54 hours a week, which is quite normal, it's not that bizarre. The standard work week looks like 40 hours. People that tend to push themselves to 50-55 hours, they're at major risk of dying from overwork. It's killing 750,000 people each year. Overwork is the single largest risk factor for occupational disease, accounting for roughly one third of the burden of diseases related to work. If you think about it, there are two major ways in which overwork can reduce health and longevity. One is the biological toll of chronic stress, with an uptick in stress hormone leading to, I don't know, very stuff like there's elevated blood pressure, there's cholesterol, and then that's physical, and then there are changes in behavior mentally. Those longing hours, you may be sleeping not so much, you barely exercising because you don't have time for your personal life. You're eating unhealthy foods because you're working too much and not taking enough breaks and not eating healthy. You're smoking and drinking to cope. That's that's way too many negative effects on your body just for 60 grand a year. Why do we buy into this cult? I don't usually use that word lightly, but I think it fits here. Why do we buy into this cult of overwork? There's an article that I read on the Work Life website. It said that overwork culture is thriving. We think of long hours and constant exhaustion as a marker of success. Given how much knowledge we have about burnout, given how much we've seen all our lives, our parents, our relatives go through the burnout stage, because people that overwork, they do that. Eventually, sooner or later, they are going to burn out, because it's not as rewarding, it's not fulfilling. And not just in terms of money matters, it's not fulfilling in terms of your personal life. You lose touch of your personal life, and under the severe misconception that this defines success, overworking does not define success. We tend to glorify the lifestyle, and the lifestyle is you breathe something, you sleep with something, you wake up and you work on it all day long, then you go to sleep. That's not your job. If that's your business, that's a whole different story. All that effort that you put into a job, you take that when you start a business of your own, you feel like you've achieved something. I'm not saying it's necessary that the business will do really good, or the business will do remarkably well or stuff like that, but at least you'll be working for yourself. All the profits that you make from said business will be all yours. You will be employing people. There is no limit to what you can earn. You don't have a salary anymore. You you have profits now. Now you pay the people. Now you pay salaries. You don't, you know, and it's easier said than done. That's just not how business works. And all these movies, I've seen a couple of, this is, I think this is HBO Max special, a couple of them specifically about stock markets and fucking investment banking that glorify the idea of working overtime. That I don't know where the notion came from that if you work overtime, your bosses will acknowledge you and you'll do better in the future. Actually, I do know where it comes from because I can see it. If I was a business owner and I, you know, aspire to be in the near future, I'd be promoting the same idea. Is it, am I a dick for doing that? Sure, but I'll be making money off of it because think about it. As a business owner, if you promote the idea that if people are working overtime, eventually, because they're not getting paid for it, their own salaries, eventually they're gonna get an incentive. What is that incentive? You say end of the year bonus. Say check for $2,000. Just give me an example. The employee thinks that, damn, I made $2,000 after staying late 5 days a week at the end of the year after 365 days minus the holidays and stuff. I made 2,000 fucking dollars. He thanks the business owner and goes about his or her day, feeling really good about themselves. What you don't understand is the employee, by staying up late all those days in the week, made the owner probably, no, definitely 10 times more than what his bonus was. Let's give you an estimate. It's like the owner probably made about $10,000 by him staying late, and he gave him what, one fifth of it? $20,000. Yeah, one third of it. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. And the owner did nothing but sit in his yacht or his private airplane and just make that money. And that's what we don't understand. But not all this pressure that we put on ourselves is literally for nothing. For what? What's the point? I think it stems from the culture as well. And it's not, when I say culture, I don't mean white people, brown people. I think it's a general work culture. Our culture has always presented exhaustion as a trophy. Taking breaks is always seen as indulgent, even uncaring. Take this little voice note as a reminder that burning out is not proving anything. It's just straight up unhealthy. So, if you guys feel like you're exhausted in your job, if you guys feel like you're doing too much, take a break. Take 10 breaks. Remember that the work laws are there for your own good. Take your 10 minutes and your 10 minutes and your half an hour. Don't skim out on your breaks. Don't do that under the impression thinking that if you do that and you're there for your employee, you'll get a promotion. You'll do maybe what, 4 years down the line. You keep doing that for 4 years for a promotion for an extra $2,000 in a year. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. You're gonna keep doing that for the rest of your life, and by the time you're 40, you're gonna realize that you've wasted your life working for someone. You haven't traveled, you haven't made any memories because you're working overtime all that time. You haven't saved any. Well, sure, you'll save some money. You haven't had the concept of financial freedom grasped to you. You haven't done anything that you can look back on and be like, yeah, I did that. But because when you look back on your life, all you think are those moments where you were overworking while you're, I don't know, while people were living their lives. And I'm not saying that go party unnecessarily and stuff like that. You'll have time to do that, but it's all about that mindset, you know. Need to sort out your priorities. Your early 20s to your early 30s should be your hustling age. Get a job, get two jobs, get three jobs if that's what it takes. Build your capital, then start a business. Because the end goal should always be to start your business. If it's not that, then you're losing. 'Cause all your life, if you've come from a middle class family such as me, and if all your life your goal has been to get financial freedom, you're never gonna get that while working in a job. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Your boss will often tell you that in order to earn more money, you need to prove that you're a loyal employee. You need to be working hard. You need to be doing more. You need to be having more responsibilities. That's when you get promotions and that's when you earn more money. There is a limit on how much you can earn in your job, and that's the boss's way of telling you that the more efforts you do, the more money I'll make. People don't often realize that. They get it's the small things versus the bigger things. Sure, in that small cap it seems very alluring to grasp the idea of working hard and making that extra bucks. Think about it in the longer run. You're not making that much. When you compare it to the damage you do on your mental and physical health, it's not worth it. It's just a fucking job. You know? Take that sentence, tell it to yourself before your shift, tell it to yourself during your shift in private. Don't do that in front of your boss. Because yeah, tell it to yourself constantly. And it'll take some time, but you'll realize that eventually that it's just a fucking job and no one cares. You will be replaced like this. This is post I saw on LinkedIn. It's very eye-opening. If you were, God forbid, if you were to die right now, you will be replaced within the next 2 weeks. Given this current market, I'm gonna say within a week. People are looking for jobs. It will be like you were never there. But your family, your friends, they're never gonna recover from that. Don't ignore your family and friends for just a job that doesn't care for you that much. Because the business will go on. It's not like they're going to close down the business just because you died. No, they don't care. They're going to make their money either way. Put yourself first, always. It's just a fucking job. Don't overwork. Take care of your physical and mental health. And look at the bigger picture. Don't obsess about the small stuff. Prepare yourself and aim for the bigger picture. Yeah, it was good. I like it. Gonna end it here. I have another 3 hours until I can leave this godforsaken place and go home. Maybe I'll go shopping. Buy some shoes. It's Boxing Day. Maybe I'll buy a Polaroid camera. I've been wanting one recently. Well, I had one, but I left it back in India. And I'm contemplating whether to have it couriered here or just buy a new one. Maybe I'll have it couriered here. I am getting some documents couriered as well. Yes, I will do that. Something to look forward to. Have a good one, guys. If you are working right now, remember not to overwork. If you're working later today, remember it's just a job and you'll get through it. Eat well, keep hydrated, and have lots of sex. Fucking unlock phone. Gotta hate when your thumb is a little sweaty in your phone. Alright, it's done. Okay. See you next time, guys. Cheers.